crazy.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Sabrina Lowery, and I am known as the Tech Evangelist, and I will be your host. Welcome to Season 2 of Geek Talk, Giving Entrepreneurs Expert Knowledge podcast. I am a serial business owner with multiple businesses, decades of experience in information technology, business systems, and real estate. This podcast is all about giving entrepreneurs what they need by educating them, empowering them, and more importantly, giving opportunities for future business collaborations through partnerships, referrals, and becoming champions for one another. You know, that board of advisors. Some of you all are working alone, and this podcast is absolutely built for you with the intention of giving you the systems, the structure, giving you some of those tips that you need to be successful, but more importantly, for giving you a conversation, a place to just check out on Monday evenings. So this season, we will be live streaming on Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to ask you to tag your business bestie right now and let them know that we are live. And this conversation is for them too. So without further ado, I would like to welcome each and every one. I would love for you to be engaged in the conversation with our very special guests. And if you have comments or questions, we may feature them in the live episode. And we will absolutely be sure to answer all the comments after the broadcast. Once today's podcast airs, you will be able to find us on your favorite podcast platforms: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We are here to bring those subject matter experts to the platform so they can give our audience their expert knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring to the stage a very, very dear and special friend of mine. Not only is she a friend of mine, but we have been collaborators for years. And with that being said, that is our introduction. I am going to give us an opportunity to bring up our very special guest. Are you ready, Dr. Kim McNair? Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to some and reintroducing to others, Dr. Kim McNair. Welcome to Geek Talk.
Hello, welcome. I'm glad to be here. Look, I'm welcome to be here.
I am so thankful for the opportunity for us to come together again. And not only that, but we want to introduce you and your businesses and your events to our audience. So, Dr. Kim, tell the people a little bit about what it is you do and who you do it for.
Well, I'm Dr. Kim McNair. I'm the CEO of KMP, Kim McNair Productions. I'm also the founder of Business Women Empowerment Project, which is my nonprofit organization. And I have the BWEP Leadership Academy for high school students. I am a speaker. I'm author of a new book called Knowledge, Money, and Power. And what I do it for, when I decided to start a nonprofit, I wanted to create something for solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small business owners, and those who are in leadership to be able to help them connect to resources to help grow their business, their brands, and even themselves. It's so important that we come together, and especially as a time such as this, and I know we'll get into it, it's important that you do it for yourself. And not only doing it for yourself, reaching back, opening the door, holding the door open for the next person to be able to develop and grow. So throughout my 30 plus years in business, I saw all the ups, the downs, the peaks and valley moments, and I wanted to be able to do something to help others. So I created my nonprofit organization. But not only that, when we went through the pandemic, I saw that there was a lot of things that was missed, a lot of opportunities that were not awarded to high school students, those who were getting ready for life after. They were struggling because they had that gap. Things had just kind of gotten a disarray, and I saw the need. So I just jumped in, being the person that I am, and I started a leadership academy for high school students. We talk about leadership, entrepreneurship. I teach them financial literacy, and I do that partnership with ViStar Credit Union. We do technology and life skills, which is so very important because the life skills is something that they need to be able to communicate. Everyone's on their phones. Everybody's doing all the technology stuff, and believe me, we have to do it because we go through that every time. However, you need to have social skills and you need to understand what's going on within yourself. Everything you need to know is not on TikTok. I know TikTok is popular, but you need facts. You need stuff that's backed up. So I try to make sure they understand a lot of things that they need to know about themselves through the life skill track and how to take care of themselves and the things that they need to do. So I don't want to get all into the nuts and bolts, but that's that side of it. But as far as my other side, my company, K&P, Kim McNair Productions, I serve small to mid-size, I suppose, I corporate, small and mid-sized businesses. I don't do weddings and baby showers. It is a corporate event planning company. On the marketing side, it's not sales marketing. It's more of marketing promotions for what you need. That's one thing that people love. They hire me. They say, oh, we get Kim. We're going to get she's going to be able to logistically get everything done and also be able to promote it as well. So I'm kind of like a one-stop shop when it comes to things. And you can, I do production. So I can do things a la carte. That's enough. I did it all. Okay.
That is beautiful, Kim. Listen, our audience is here and they may not know about you, right?
Yeah.
I've been in your circle and around the way, girl, for a long time, right? So we have over a decade of connection. So that brings me to my first question.
Okay.
Dr. Kim, we've known each other for quite some time. We've done business together. And so I do know firsthand what that is. And it's not just about producing events. You curate experiences.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love about you. So for our audience that is meeting you for the very first time, how would you describe the mission behind Kim McNair Productions and the platforms that you've built for women in business?
Well, the mission behind it is really being able to do things with integrity. A lot of people, they kind of dive into things without having that balance, that strategy, and execution. Those things are very important. I'm very logistics. I'm going to look at if I'm planning or doing a specific project or project management, which is also what I do, a project. I'm going to go outside of the inside because I want to see how it's going to be developed instead of the inside out, from the outside in. Because with events, it doesn't just happen right in here. It happens soon as they pull in the car and park in the parking lot. It happens when they come in the door. It happens when that first touch point. And you have to be on point. It's so very important. A lot of people, I know we want the room to look good. We want everything to be laid, but we need to make sure that experience, once they hit the grounds, once they open the door, once they step foot into the space, that the experience starts right there. And a lot of people miss that. So it's so important that you get that. That's one big thing about me. I'm going to make sure that you have that experience. When I talk about, one of the things I say in the K&P mindset is to keep moving forward, right? And I talk about, it's not so much about the visibility because people, they want to be visible. Everybody got their cell phones. They're taking selfies. They're taking pictures. I see you, girl. I see you, right? They're all about the visibility part of things. But what I try to talk to people about is the positioning of what it is that you're doing and the positioning. So that is something that's very important to me, how you position everything. because visibility may get you seen, visibility may get you in the door, but positioning is going to keep you in the room.
I love that. And that's an important lesson for all of
Mhm.
our entrepreneurs and our small business owners, because there's that foundation piece. Positioning is a part of building your brand
Absolutely.
awareness, and your brand authority. And
Mhm.
so, what I love about our collaborators mission is the fact that we tied all of that together so beautifully in a bow, not just for women business owners, but for the community at large, right? So
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
let's talk about your work. Let's talk about our
Okay.
work. Let's talk
Okay.
about those things that actually do bring leaders in the same room,
Mhm.
thought leaders in the same room, game changers in the same room, but not just to bring us together in the same room, Kim, but that give us opportunity to exchange real dollars. Talk about it, sis.
Well, that's important. I mean, when you come together in a space, you don't, it's not about how many business cards can I collect. What are you offering? A lot of times I meet people and I say, I talk with them, and, of course, everybody got to give their elevated pitch. Oh, I do that, I do that, that. Mm-mm. You introduce yourself, you say what you're doing, and you ask someone, well, how can I serve you? What is it that I can help you with? What are you missing? We need to be solution based, problem solving based, right? When we're
Agree.
doing things. And when you're in those spaces and you're talking with people, it doesn't need to be well, I do this and I do that. Well, I'm this and I'm that. No, no, no. Let's just have a conversation about maybe what do you think the community needs right now? Now the conversation is, oh wow, what is the community? Yeah, now the conversation is shifting because it's making someone think, well, daggone, what is happening in the community? What does the community need right now? The community, what do you mean? What community? The business community, you know, the community you live in, the underserved community, those who don't have the necessary means to be able to, we're talking about AI. How many people that don't even have a computer within their community to understand how that works, and different things. So you can talk about community-based things. It doesn't have to be so driven about, well, I do this, well, you do that, well, can I do, I don't do that anymore. A lady pulled me to the side, and I said, tell me, teach me, right? And she said, you don't have to get up on stage and introduce yourself and say, I do this and I do that and I got this and I got that. Power isn't in titles, it's not in your degrees, it's not in any of those things. Okay, power really is in the space of being able to know who you are. That is powerful. That is power, knowing who you are. Do you know who you are? Do you really know exactly what it is that you're here to do? We're all on an assignment.
Mhm.
We're each and every one of us on an assignment. But do you know what you're supposed to be doing? Do you really know who you are when it comes to that? So those are things that I like to get into. So I'll just introduce myself. This is what I do. This is my company, and we'll go on. Because
Yeah.
if they really want to know, what I'm going to get you to do is get in that phone of yours. And
Right.
oh, let me find out who she really is. Now you're going down. You go, oh my goodness. How many people say, oh my gosh, I didn't know you did this. She said, they'll say it didn't do you because that gives us more conversation. It gives us
Absolutely.
another way to be able to engage one another. If I give
Absolutely.
it all to you right now, what are we going to talk about?
I know that's right, Kim. Oh, drop the mic and exit stage left, please. We're gonna clip that. We're gonna clip that for our audience. That was powerful. That was a gem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here on Geek Talk, giving entrepreneurs expert knowledge. And I am your host, Sabrina Lowery, with one of my business besties, Dr. Kim McNair.
Thank you.
She is thebomb.com. And in case you haven't heard, she is the CEO of Kim McNair Productions. And Kim McNair Productions has been around for quite some time. And we have seen her evolve. We've seen her in these streets. And now she's taking her show on the road.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, I am thrilled to introduce, I want to just call her speaker extraordinaire, who is going around the globe rocking the mic with her powerful voice. Kim, talk to our audience about some of your speaking topics and your brand new book, Knowledge,
oh,
Money, Power.
Oh wow, this book is really it's really my story. A lot of people say KMP. Wait a minute, that's your company, Kim McNair Productions. It is, but when I sat down and I was talking about doing the book and the different things, knowledge, money, and power came out. It was like, wait a minute, I tell the story. I tell this story. I started my company in Orlando, Florida. Okay. I came from New York, New Jersey, moved to Orlando, and I started my business. I took $500 and booked a ballroom. So I used to always say, oh, I started $500 in a dream. That became the cliche. Oh, everybody say $500 in a dream, but I literally took $500, put down on, I didn't say that's what the ballroom cost, but that was a deposit I gave them to get the ball rolling, to be able to build and start my company and to do and to be who I am today. So that was the foundation. Okay. But throughout that, I had to do a lot of things, a lot of boots on the ground, a lot of building, because no one knew me, knew who I was and what I could do. And so those are the things that I did. So over the years being in Orlando, I was gathering that knowledge, that wisdom. Because see, that's my credential. See, your wisdom is your credentials. Knowledge is the teacher, but your wisdom is your credentials. So you think your credentials is the other stuff, but it's not that. We're going to get into it. So I had the knowledge. So when I relocated or moved here to Atlanta, I had the knowledge, but I was struggling to get to the money and the power. And I was like, now, wait a minute. Now I got this, I can do that. Where the money at? Where's all the things? I need to know the power moves, people, the movers and shakers. And then as I navigated and continued to develop and grow here, then I found the people with the money and power, but I realized they didn't have the knowledge. I said, oh my goodness. At that point, it was all about balance, strategy, and execution. So at that point, I said, okay, I got something here. So now I can't get in certain rooms, baby. I'm going to create the room because see, I already had the knowledge. I knew what I needed to do. I needed to create the space and bring the money and the power right where I needed them. See, I knew where the money resides and I had to build that. A lot of times we're trying to do this over here. You got to create and build the rooms that you want to be in. And you have to do it with confidence. So that's the knowledge piece. See, knowledge is really your currency. You think it's all about the money, but knowledge is where your money is. That's what it's all about. You've been clocking in and out for $20, $13 an hour, $25 an hour, clocking and giving that knowledge away 8 hours a day. Baby, they paying for that knowledge. Okay. So then let's break down the money. Because everybody want to talk about the money, baby. Where the money at? Where the money at? Money will fuel your vision. Money talks. You have to learn the language of money. You have to respect money. You tell people to put respect on your name. I tell them to put respect on my money and pay me my worth. Money is all wrapped up around your vision, your mission, but you have to understand it. You got to know how to navigate, how to move it, how to use it, when to hold them and when to fold it. Then you get to the power. Well, power is your purpose. Power is your potential. And back to that word, position. Okay. Power is a whole lot more than being the loudest person in the room. It has nothing about being loud. And like I said, it has nothing about titles. It's about being able to walk into a space knowing you belong there. You have to stop shrinking in rooms you were built to lead. You have to go in with confidence and humility. You don't go in a room all conceited. No. You go in there. Well, hello, how are you? Because they're going to know you have value. Each and every person has value. And when you realize what your value is and the value that you hold, you will stop discounting, okay, your credibility. You'll stop discounting your value. You'll stop not offering, or I'll say, putting yourself out there the way that you should. Because see, it all starts here in the mindset. See, money changes, your mindset has to change as well. Because if you still have doing high dollar work with low level confidence, how's that going to work? How is that going to work? You're out here pouring yourself into stuff. You're doing all these things, right? You're bringing all this value to the table and you don't even know what it's worth. You have to understand and know what your worth is and now there are times when we do things and we have to say, well, yes, my fee is this or that, right? My
Right.
cost would be here, but I'm going to work with you because I see the value in it.
That's
Maybe
right.
we want to collaborate. And it's not so much a bartering. Let's figure out how we can collaborate and do this thing so they can win for you and I can win for me. Because you may be putting me, I may need to come down a little bit because I'm gonna be in a room that's going to yield me a whole lot more. People
That's
don't
right.
see that either. So
That's right.
people have to understand that. But I am going around, I'm talking about the book, I'm talking about how you need to keep making progress. Sometimes it looks is starting over. Sometimes progress is healing. Sometimes progress is raising your standards. Okay. But you have to continue to keep making progress. You don't want to stagnate. I pulled this out because I wanted to read this to you. And it says here, progress does not require perfection. It requires movement. We live in a world right now that worships the finish line, and it often ignores the people that are still walking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Progress isn't about arriving, it's about deciding every day to take one faithful step at a time. So keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward, taking steps, even if you have to do it alone, even if you have to do it and nobody's watching, you keep going because it's going to amount to something. Trust
Agreed.
and believe. You have to trust and believe and know that. And I don't know, I can say a whole lot more, but I'm gonna be quiet.
I love it. I love it. No, we appreciate that. That's what we're here for. Thank you so much for sharing that passage. I absolutely want to give shout outs to our live viewers. Thank you so much. And we want to make sure we give shout outs and make sure that everyone that is live, that you all know that Dr. Kim McNair is here and receiving any questions or comments that you may have. And of course, if we don't happen to catch them on the live stream, we will respond to any questions after the broadcast. So that is something that's powerful. Dr. Kim, go right ahead.
I wanted to share something else and this is for my leaders, people that are leading. When you lead with value, clarity, and integrity, you become a magnet for opportunities. That means you become someone worth investing in. Did you know that? When you lead with value, integrity, okay, and clarity, when you're clear on what it is you're doing, you actually become a magnet for opportunities. We're all looking for opportunities right now. We have over 600,000 women out of work right now trying to figure it out. I've been at this company for 10 years. I've been at this company for 15 years. They cut they cut our department out and I don't know what to do. I've never been an entrepreneur. I don't know how to do these things. Yes, you do. You've been doing it for 10, 15, however many years. You have it. You got it. What you have to do is just sit back, repackage it, restructure it, strategize, pull it together because somebody still needs the service that you were giving. They cut that department out. But I'm guarantee you, there's some services that is needed. And there's a lot of people that are like, well, what am I going to do now? This person had been doing this for me and they gone. How do we get this done? Well, hello now. Hello. How are you? Here's McNair Consulting Services. How can I help you? Oh, yes, we do all those things. You already got the papers, you already got the credentials because you got the wisdom. So now you become that magnet for opportunities because now you have all the opportunities are just coming left, right, north, south, east, and west. And people want to be that. People want to, when you show that there's a value, that you do it right and you do it with integrity and you're clear. You got to be clear on what it is that you're doing. You got to have clarity. You got to strategize. You have to have clarity. They know, oh, this is what I want to work with. I want to be with her. I need her on my team. I need that. Well, I do it in a different way. I can send you a contract. We can sit down and put together a 6-month, a year contract. We're not getting ready to do the other thing. I didn't learn 20 years now. You ain't going, oh, no. I know the value.
That's right. Oh, I love it, Kim. You dropping gems. Thank you so much for sharing that story. Thank you for sharing with our audience those nuggets of your wisdom and expertise. I would love for us to segue now and talk about BWEP's Women on the Move Annual Summit. Talk to the
Yes.
people. I cannot wait
Oh,
to attend again this year. I hit or miss here and there, but I am a supporter. I make sure that I tag, share, and all the things. But this year, I will have a seat at the table, sis. So please introduce to our audience your event, and I will pull it up for our broadcast
oh
viewers.
yes. Oh, definitely, definitely. The Women on the Move Summit is September the 17th. Actually, a month from today. I got a whole lot to do when we get off this live, right? So it is something. This is our 13th annual. It's for women who are in business, about business, and ready to do business. But it's not just for women. We started adding men a long time ago. So we do an all male leadership panel, but it's for men and women because I look at men as our allies. When I started this 13 years ago, when I started doing the Women on the Move Summit, I started it to have a space where I can be in a room with like-minded women. And then I would reach, not gonna say reach back, but I would maybe reach to the side and say, look, I go to all the corporate women that I knew, C-suite executives, Fortune 500 company folks. I say, look, there's a lot of women that are trying to get where you are. They can't get an appointment with you. They cannot get in here. You don't have, that's not going to happen. They're not in the circles that we're in, and they need our help. I'm asking you to come. Give me an hour, 2 hours. Come and share. I need you to take it off, take it down, and just give them the secret sauce so that they can build and know the direction they need to go in. You're in the rooms. You're at the table. Now, if you're saying if you really are saying that you're going to help get somebody at the table, you're going to open up a door for somebody else and get them in, you're going to send the elevator down and bring it up, I'm giving you the opportunity to do it real time, right now. All right, Kim, what you need me to do? So that's where everything started, to bring those people together, everybody together, so that we can be able to come together and fellowship and talk about how we're going to move the needle forward. People are struggling in certain areas. I'm so excited about this year because I believe that every person that is going to be a part of the summit this year, men and women, are going to bring something to the stage, bring something that's going to help someone move the needle forward as they are building their business or restructuring, rebranding, pivoting. That was the big word, pivot. And I did a big thing on pivot at the early part of the year, and then last year. And I talked about how people ignore vital opportunities today because they don't know how to pivot. They think pivoting is, oh, I got to start over. Oh my gosh. No, pivoting is starting from experience. You've done it.
Yeah.
Okay. You just have to start from experience and keep going. It's not starting over nowhere. You have to understand that. Yes, people rebrand, change things. They do that kind of stuff all the time. We do that. But it's never about, I gotta start from the beginning. It's okay, because you know what that is? That's progress. Okay. So don't look at it in a negative, look at it in a positive. Oh, wow. I get an opportunity to really switch things up right now. I've been doing it this way, but I see that I should shift. We know what's going on with technology. So I have some technology experts. I have some business experts. I have people that are going to be on stage here at the summit that is going to be there to answer your questions. I tell any man or woman that comes to the summit, if you come in there and don't ask a question, if you just sit there and you're doing yourself a disservice. So I believe, okay, that I'm going to say that I believe it, but I want to encourage you. If you got to take a PTO day, if you need to take a vacation day, if you need to just X out your calendar for the day, you need to come to the summit so that you can leave. There's so many people that have called me back or DM me or messaged me to tell me, oh my gosh, Kim, after doing the summit, I was able to do this. I had a young lady that came to my very first one. She was doing business out of her van. The next year she was in the brick and mortar. I have others that have met people there and they've collaborated and done business well. I've had others that come and that have gotten contracts. And I mean, not no small number contracts. I mean, all types of things. So when you see the results, I was in a meeting today and they were talking about the ROI. The ROI is there. I see the return on the investment. I'm putting it in there. As every time someone tells me, Kim, I got this, I did this, I'm like, okay, this is what this is what we needed. This is what we want. I have a young lady. I just did a little video with her. She's not speaking, but she's coming. She came last year, and I know you got to get ready to go. And her name is Chiquita. She came last year. She was one of the people that her company laid her off, and she almost didn't come. She said, I don't know if I'm gonna go. And she's so glad she did, because by coming to the summit, she was able to connect. She got she was gifted a year's subscription to one of the organizations. I don't know if it's ABL, the Atlanta Business League. She was able to get in and do so much. She is now an instructor leading and doing helping people with nonprofits at Atlanta Tech. She is doing the doggone thing. But a year ago, this time, going into this time, she was, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I never been an entrepreneur.
Right.
So, I mean, when I see stuff like that, I'm elated. I'm happy. I'm excited. And
I love that. I love that. So
Mhm.
for everyone, this is your call to action. Go ahead and save the date for September 17th at Microsoft Atlanta. Tickets are available. You can learn more on Kim's website. It is showing on the screen. Support is a verb, which means we need you to take action. Show up in the room. And not only that, but be sure that you are bringing your business bestie. It's always about those that show up go up together, and I love that so much. So thank you so much, Dr. Kim. Thank you for sharing that. And I also want to just continue to support you, pray with you, for all the amazing things that you've done along the years. I applaud you. I'm your number one raving fan in the sidelines, just waiting for you behind the scenes. Just know that I really appreciate everything that you're doing. And so what I would love for you to do is, just as you close with our audience, be mindful that we're focusing on those entrepreneurs that are on their journey. And if they cannot attend Women on the Move Summit, why don't you give them their little power talk right now and let them know how you can support them, whether they're in the room or not.
Look, I'm always that person that is here. I've always had the heart to be able to help the next person because someone helped me. When I started, I didn't start with a business plan. I didn't start this, with all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. I didn't. I got told you earlier, I took $500, booked the ballroom, and did my first event. Everything I learned boots on the ground, learning from others. And then I had to go back, of course, to perfect my craft, work, do all the things I needed to do once I really knew that I wanted to dive in. And that's me, in what I do. So what I like to tell you is that if you're in a season where you feel like, you're stuck or things are just not going well, walk in your power. Okay. And that power is knowing who you are. Walk in that space of knowing that. What you got to do also, you have to have time to get away from everything, the noise. If it means I'm going to go upstairs in my room a little earlier while the family's, eating, or maybe they're watching TV. You just have to get into your space. Okay. Get into your space and just kind of take some deep breaths and just focus in on the positive, because we can live in the negative, but you need to focus on the positive. Okay. We serve someone greater than us who knows all. Everything you need is already in the house, mind, body, and soul. Okay. Everything you need. You sit back and you may say, well, I don't have this. I don't have that. What am I going to do? You have everything that you need. I talk about the first entrepreneur who started a family business in the Bible, 2 Kings. It's about the woman who said, the prophet came and he wanted her to bake her a cake. And she said, well, I don't have nothing but a jar of oil. And he said, well, she said she was talking about how she didn't have anything and her husband was dead. And oh my gosh, right? He gave her one simple instruction. He said, go home, tell your children to go and borrow some jars. And when you get those, come into the house and start to pour that oil. So I say, hey, she told her kids, Rayshawn, Quishan, whoever, go down the street to Miss Parker's house and ask Miss Parker if she got some jars. Go down to Mr. Wilson, Mr. Wilson, my mama needs some jars. And they like, my mom just needs a jar. They don't think the jar, nothing. They look at it as very minute. Get the jars. They grab up all the jars. Here they come. Here come Rayshawn, Raekwon. They coming in. Ma, I got the jars. They pulling them in their wagon. They got the jars. He told her to get them, shut the door. He said, now you take that oil and you start pouring it. She keep, give me another bottle. Give me another jar. Give me another. She's just steady pouring. Okay. All right. She's steady pouring. And then he said, well, Ma, we don't have no more. We don't have no more jars. And she looked at it and she said, I still got some oil. She has some equity. She put that over there. See, she had money in the bank. They didn't even know it. He told her to do what? Label them. So he told her then take them out and sell them. What she had to do, she had to package them. She had to brand them. She had to label them up, put them together, get the packaging ready, and they were open for business. Oil was something that everybody needed at that time. It lit. Oil was what they needed for heat, for cooking, the whole thing. Oil was a hot commodity. She had something. She didn't realize it, but she had it in the house. Any and everything you need is in the house. And from that story, they started a family business. Not only did they pay off the debt and the things that they had money left over, she was an entrepreneur that started a family business just by that one little thing. Stop saying you don't have anything. Stop saying negativity that I ain't got nothing. I can't do nothing. You have a whole lot. It's a whole lot within you once you know who you are. And once you really sit back and take inventory of what you have, and it's all in here, mind first, body and soul. You can do it. You got it. So I just want to say to you, put one foot in front of the other, take a few minutes. I'm going to tell you, pray, because that's all he needs. All he wants you to do, keep your vision clear. Clarity is so very important, but everything you need, you have. It's already in the house. You just got to trust and believe. And when you doubt, then I don't know what to say. As soon as you doubt, you cancel it. So you can't doubt.
It's so true. It's so true.
Okay, well, okay.
Nuggets. Oh, Kim, thank you so much. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for the wisdom, and thank you for your expertise on
Look, if I had time, I'd tell them about how we were supposed to have more than one stream, because everybody think there was only one. You're supposed to have many streams, and I can break them streams down for you through knowledge, money, and power, but you ain't got enough time for that.
That's right. That's right. And that is why they need to connect with Dr. Kim McNair.
Absolutely.
All right. I love that so much. Thank you so much for sharing your story tonight with our audience. I want everyone to remember Dr. Kim McNair. I want you all to make sure that you connect with her. And there is her information, McNairProductions.com. Make sure you save the date, September 17th. That is the Women on the Move Summit. It will be held at Microsoft in Atlanta. I will be in the room. I will absolutely be ready for connections and collaborations, Kim. So keep me in mind. You know, there's a whole bunch of things going on. As you know, today is a very special day for me. Today, I embark on my new role as adjunct professor. I am excited about this new journey where I get to share my expertise at the university level. And I have been able to build my speaking business over the years as a result of being on stage at Women on the Move Summit many years ago and sharing my truth and sharing my story. And I know that being in that room is transformational. So that is my testimony. That is my referral. And I am an ambassador for Dr. Kim McNair. And that's what it's all about. The referral ambassadors is something that I've talked about for a number of years. Dr. Kim and I talked about this for a number of years. Even as we built our business relationship, it was through partnership. It was then through collaboration. And then through collaboration, that's where growth happened. So as we continue on our individual paths, our journeys are still in alignment. And so that is something that I want to share with our audience of women entrepreneurs, that you do not have to do things in competition with one another, but rather in collaboration. And when you do that, a mighty time will be had by all. So that's my service announcement. And I want to make sure that everybody knows I like to geek out on Mondays at 7:30. So the new season of Geek Talk is here. And we want you all to know where you can find the podcast after tonight's live stream. So I'm going to share with you through our podcast hub that you can find on my website, SabrinaLoweryEnterprises.com. And I built this premier portal for everyone. In case you missed any of season 1 episodes, you can find us again on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, and your favorite podcast platforms. All you got to do is Google the word geek as an acronym, G.E.E.K, talk with Sabrina Lowery and Friends. It will pop right up in the first results on Google. So that's what I've done and built for you all. You can subscribe on Spotify and on YouTube. And all of our shows are about building legacy, your leadership journey, what leisure and lifestyle you may have, the technology and the tech support with the Tech Evangelist, your real estate journey. As a real estate investor, I am here to give you those tips and tools that you need. Or if you'd like to be a featured guest on a future episode, you can apply. So there is the podcast portal. I want you all to be sure that you tune in. And Dr. Kim, we thank you again for being our very first guest for season 2.
Thank you. Yay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank our guests. I want you all to remember to tune back in next Monday at 7:30, where we will be right here giving entrepreneurs expert knowledge. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.